very good evening. You're watching Primetime News on TV1 live and direct from our Newsfirst studios in Colombo. Bringing you the news, I'm Jadabdin.
And I'm Nomitra Bekun. Let's take a look at your headlines for tonight.
Railway lines restored to original condition. Main line extended to Ambepussa. Rebuilding Sri Lanka fund surpasses 1.89 billion rupees with local and global support. Russian aircraft delivers emergency aid to disaster-hit communities. The Sahanayatra flood relief convoy airlift supplies on US Air Force C-130J Super Hercules. Heavy rain and strong winds forecast for north and east. Landslide red alerts extended in 4 districts. Bribery Commission withdraws indictment against Cabral in Greek bond case under 18.4 billion rupee repayment condition.
And on to those stories in detail. In your top story this evening, the natural disasters triggered by Cyclone Ditwa inflicted severe damage on Sri Lanka's railway system, disrupting connectivity across the island. Within just a few days of the catastrophe, several railway lines have been restored to their previous condition thanks to relentless efforts. As of today, trains operating from Rambukkana, Polgahawala, Kurunegala, Ganewatta and Nathandiya to Colombo Fort.
Sri Lanka's railway network spans 1,593 kilometers. Following the trail of destruction left by Cyclone Ditwa, only 486 kilometers were operational. Landslides, earth slips and rockfalls caused extensive destruction to tracks and infrastructure. Currently, trains are operating normally from Colombo to Avisavela and Colombo to Beliata. Until yesterday, services on the Putlam line were limited to Nathandiya. Routes from Colombo to Jaffna, Trincomalee, Batticaloa and Badola were restricted to Ambepussa. Thanks to rapid restoration work by railway staff, volunteer groups and the Tri-Forces, several office trains operated this morning from Rambukkana, Polgahawala, Kurunegala and Ganewatta to Colombo Fort. This was possible after repairing the bridge near Budjomo railway station between Ambepussa and Alawa. Last night, one track was temporarily reopened, allowing limited train movement. Today, 2 office trains departed for Colombo Fort. 6:15 a.m. train from Kurunegala, 3:15 a.m. train from Ganewatta. Additionally, an office train from Rambukkana reached Maradana station at 7:25 a.m.
අපහසුතාවයකින් යන්න ගියේ අපිට උනත් යන්නේවත් තිබුණේ නැහැ මේ ටිකේම ආයතන වලින් උත්සාහන සලසලා තිබ්බා පොඩක් කලින් එන්න ඒ නමුත් ඉතින් හදපු ගැන ගොඩාක් සතුටුයි රාජකාරියට කරන්න ඕනේ අපි ඒ නිසා අපි කොහොම හරි ආවා හදලා දුන්න එක ගැන ලොකු සතුටක් තියෙනවා ගොඩක් ඉක්මනින් එහෙම කරන්න ලැබිච්ච එක රජයට ගොඩක්ම ස්තුතියි අතරම සන්තෝෂයි එහෙම එකමුතු වෙලා ඉක්මනට මේ ඉවර කරපු එක ගැන
After operating morning office trains, services across the Budjomo bridge were halted until evening to complete repairs on both tracks. The Army commander inspected the site this afternoon. Meanwhile, restoration of the upcountry railway line, which suffered severe damage, is ongoing. Work is visible near Kadugannava and Balana stations.
දුම්රිය කියන්නේ විශේෂ සේවයක් ඒක අමාරු ඒක කැඩුනම සර්විස් දෙන්න අමාරුයි බඩු ගෙනියන්න අමාරුයි ඒ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නමුත් විශාල මානසිකකින් දුම්රිය නිලධාරීන් දුම්රිය වෘත්තීය සමිති විධ හමුදාව විශාල මානසිකකින් වැඩ කරනවා සවුත් ලයින් එක අවුලක් නැහැ අපි ඒකට තමයි වැඩ කරගෙන ගිහිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ අපි හිතනවා අපිට හොඳ ප්‍රතිඵලයක් ඊටාම ඉක්මනින් ලැබෙයි කියලා අපි දැනට ඒ නිසා තමයි ලංගම බස් සහ පෞද්ගලික බස් දාලා කෝච්චියන් නැති ප්‍රදේශවල රජයේ සේවක සේවිකාවන්ට බස් සර්විස් එකක් දාලා තියෙන ලංකාවේ පළවෙනි වතාවට. කලින් වුණාට වඩා අපි ඩබල් ට්‍රිබල් හරියට කරනවා.
Sri Lanka's recovery efforts following the recent cyclone, landslides and floods have received a major boost with 1.89 billion rupees already contributed by well-wishers, businesses and Sri Lankans living overseas. This marks a significant increase from the previous figure of 700 million rupees, according to Dr. Harshana Surya Peruma, the Secretary to the Ministry of Finance.
During our last submission, we indicated nearly 700 million rupees have been received into the several bank accounts that we shared. Some of the bank accounts are based on the local banks and some of the bank accounts are based on the central bank account station outside Sri Lanka. Last time it was 700 million and the update today is that amount has improved and gone up to 1.89 billion rupees or 1,893 million rupees has been recorded based on the reports that have been submitted by the Treasury Operations Department. Particularly these inflows are coming from various countries. Last time it was nearly 30 different countries who have contributed. Our brothers and sisters, Sri Lankans living overseas, well-wishers, supporters, individuals, businesses have contributed immensely to support this rebuilding initiative. Based on the details, we could see the highest amount based on the today's record has come from USA, followed by Australia, the second highest number, and then further inflows are, the next inflow is from UK, again followed by support that we are receiving from well-wishers and ex-Sri Lankans who are living there, Sri Lankan citizens and supporters is through Italy, France, Korea, and again a lot of support Germany, a lot of support receiving from Germany also we can see in the list. Similarly, many other countries, list of countries including Czech Republic, Cambodia, Lithuania, Malaysia, Mauritius, Thailand, Jordan, Finland, Netherlands, likewise many countries or citizens, Sri Lankans, well-wishers, businesses, organizations and families living in those countries have come forward to support this rebuilding exercise. This is the strength we have. It is the unity, collective effort to support the rebuilding exercise of Sri Lanka. Businesses, individuals, families require a lot of assistance to get back to their usual life and day-to-day activities. This is a testimony to the support, heartwarming support extended by individuals, businesses, organizations to ensure we are able as a nation to get back as quickly as possible with the day-to-day life, economic activities, and ensure children are able to get back to schools as early as possible.
Communities devastated by recent disasters are now witnessing rapid rebuilding efforts across the island. The main road connecting Vijayarajapura and Pudur villages damaged by flooding following the rising Mahaveli River now has a temporary alternative route completed today. Officials from the Irrigation Department joined hands with local residents who volunteered their tractors and equipment to construct the route. Restoration work has begun on the Meegahakula road from Madosima via Akirita in Matigahatana, which was damaged by landslides and earth slips. The effort is led by the Road Development Authority. Urgent repairs started today on the bridge near Castleway Reservoir along the Norton Bridge Hatton Main Road by the Road Development Authority and the Sri Lanka Army. Rehabilitation of Mahalinda Vava in Nochiagama is underway, with a temporary bund being constructed by the Irrigation Department supported by the Sri Lanka Army. Rapid restoration of the Alaharu Anicut damaged by the Ambangaga overflow is in progress. Farmers, Irrigation Department officials and the Army are actively contributing to this effort. bund of Mahamankadavala Vavar is being restored by the Sri Lanka Army.
Newsfirst, main sponsor.
Valuable FD, the symbol of stability. Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
In a landmark moment for Sri Lanka's flood response, a US Air Force C-130 Super Hercules transport aircraft took off from Bandaranaike International Airport this morning, carrying urgently needed flood relief mobilized through Sirasa Sahana Yatra, the disaster response arm of the Gammadda movement. The aircraft was bound for Mattara International Airport, where the aid will be offloaded and sent by road into the battered hill country districts.
Two C-130J Super Hercules and airmen from the US Air Force 36th Contingency Response Group arrived a few days ago to provide American airlift capability in support of Sri Lanka's Cyclone Ditwa response. To ensure rapid delivery of essential relief to disaster-affected communities, these two aircraft were deployed to transport critical supplies to multiple regions across the island. Today, one of these aircraft assisted in dispatching donations collected from the public for the Sirasa Sahana Yatra flood relief convoy, ensuring urgent aid reached those in need without delay. This operation was the result of a joint effort by the US Embassy in Sri Lanka, the Sri Lanka Air Force, the Disaster Management Center and Gammadda, a powerful example of collaboration during a national crisis. Bringing together international partners, government agencies and the private sector, this initiative marks a historic milestone in Sri Lanka's disaster management efforts. The cargo, specially prepared for air transport, was moved to Katunaika International Airport. After loading the consignment this morning, the US aircraft departed Katunaika and reached Mattala International Airport in just 30 minutes. From Mattala, the relief supplies were transported by road to Badulla, Nuwara Eliya, Monoragala and surrounding areas, where communities have been severely impacted. Given the current disaster situation, moving such large volumes of essential goods to the hill country by land alone would have been extremely challenging. However, today's operation demonstrated how international cooperation, private sector involvement and government support can deliver timely assistance to those in need. This mechanism enabled the relief convoy to provide essential supplies to affected communities within a very short time frame. We extend a heartfelt gratitude to the US Embassy in Sri Lanka, the Sri Lanka Air Force and the Disaster Management Center for their invaluable support in making this vision possible. Meanwhile, the US ambassador to Sri Lanka, Julie Chung, said the United States is proud to be working side by side with the Sri Lanka Air Force, bringing together their capabilities, including their airmen and two US Air Force C-130J Super Hercules, to airlift relief faster and efficiently. She added that the airlift helps bridge distance and time, and they appreciate Gammadda and the many Sri Lankan organizations that do the essential work after landing, ensuring donated items reach the final destination into communities and homes that need them the most.
The Sirasa Shakti Sahana Yatra. Sri Lanka needs you. Please donate the following dry rations and help those who need it the most. Rice, dal, noodles, soya meat, canned fish and biscuits. You can hand over these items at the following collection points: the MTV head office, Braybrook Place, Colombo 2, the Depanama Studio Complex in Panipitia. For further inquiries, please call 076 552 5000. Together, we can make a difference.
The Department of Meteorology warns that some areas in the northern, north central and eastern provinces may experience heavy rainfall exceeding 100 millimeters. Meanwhile, parts of the central and over provinces could receive around 75 millimeters of rain. The forecast also indicates that occasional strong winds of 30 to 40 kilometers per hour may occur in the northern, north central and northwestern provinces, as well as in the eastern slopes of the central hills.
Amid persistent rainfall, 2 spill gates of Kalawara have been raised by 3 feet each, releasing water at a rate of 2,700 cubic feet per second into Kala Oil and approximately 300 cubic feet per second each into the left and right bank canals. Due to continuous rain in catchment areas, 2 spill gates of Natchadua Reservoir have also been opened by 2 feet each, discharging water into Malwatu Oil. Meanwhile, 6 spill gates of Rajangane Reservoir are currently open. With heavy showers over Polonnaruwa, 3 spill gates of Minneria Reservoir were opened this morning, while 4 spill gates of Kaudulla Reservoir have also been released. In the upper Mahavali catchment, the Polgolla Mahavali barrage opened 3 spill gates this morning as directed by the engineering office. The released water flows into Victoria Reservoir. Continuous rainfall has reactivated landslides in Megahakula and Ibankatu Hills in Badulla, creating a dangerous situation for residents. Our correspondent reports that around 50 families from Megahakula, Morahela and Megolla villages have already been evacuated to safety. In Halyala's Bogahamalitha area, landslide risk has also emerged. Authorities have issued red alerts for Pitipolavatta Badalla, Arava, Adigamua, Galadapatana and Uva Jaigama villages, and residents have been moved to safe locations. Meanwhile, in Uva Paranagama's Maspanna area, landslide activity has resumed, prompting urgent evacuation of residents from high-risk zones. Signs of landslides have also appeared in Demodara's Uduwara hill, known as Rohalkanda. Residents report visible cracks extending approximately of a major slip. Following the landslide in Hanguranketa's Labuhenwala area, the situation remains highly unsafe. Residents of 25 houses have been relocated to safe locations, while 16 houses were completely destroyed by a landslide. Large cracks are visible across houses, roads and land in Labuhenwala village, prompting authorities to evacuate 25 families to prevent further tragedy. At the foot of the affected hill stands the Poramadulla National School, which also sustained damage from the landslide. The school's technical building remains in a precarious condition, forcing authorities to close the school indefinitely. Our correspondent reports that evacuated residents are now temporarily sheltered at the Poramadulla Udalumada temple. Landslide warnings issued for several districts remain active as heavy rainfall continues to pose risks. Red evacuation alerts are still in force for multiple divisional secretariat divisions in Kandy, Kegalle, Kurunegala and Mathale districts. In the Kandy district, the following areas remain under evacuation alert: Panvila,
උඩ පළාත, මිනිපේ, පූජාපිටිය, ගංගවට කෝරළේ, තුම්පනේ, දොළුව, පාතදුම්බර, ගඟ ඉහළ කෝරළේ, හාරිස්පත්තුව, අකුරණ, උඩුදුම්බර, පාතහේවා හැට, හතරලියද්ද, යටිනුවර, දෙල්තොට, මැදදුම්බර, උඩුනුවර, Kundasale and Pasbage Korale. In the Kegal district, alerts apply to Yatiyantota, Rambukkana, Aranayaka, Varakapula, Galigamua, Mavanella and Bulatkuhupitia. In the Matale district, the following divisions are under red alert. Ukuela, Pallepula, Rattota, Matale, Laggala Pallegama, Yatavatta, Naula, Abanganga Korale and Wilgamua. In the Kurunagala district, alerts have been issued for Mallavapitiya, Ridigama and Mavatagama.
Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
A Russian Ilyushin IL-76 aircraft, a heavy transport plane, reached Sri Lanka carrying aid.
Sri Lanka's recovery efforts after the devastating cyclone Ditwa received a major boost today as 35 metric tons of Russian humanitarian aid arrived at the Bandaranaike International Airport in Katunayake. The aid, transported by an Emercom aircraft from the Russian Ministry of Emergency Situations, includes a movable 60 kilowatt electric power station, pumping equipment for water drainage, summer tents, food supplies including sugar, vegetable oil and rice. The consignment will be distributed among the most affected regions, providing critical relief to families struggling to rebuild their lives.
Today we are witnessing a very great event, delivery of the Russian humanitarian aid to our friendly people of Sri Lanka affected by the damage caused by the cyclone. Hopefully it will be very helpful for our friends. It's both equipment and food. So we always stand with the people of Sri Lanka. God bless you. Thank you.
Thanks to the intervention of the Indian Army, the mobile hospital established in Mahyanganaya continues its operations for the 6th consecutive day. The facility, managed by an Indian medical team, has become a lifeline for the community, with a large number of patients arriving daily for treatment.
The Sirasa Sahanayatra flood relief convoy continued their journey today to deliver essential aid to communities affected by cyclonic storm Ditwa.
The Sirasa Sahanayatra flood relief convoys continued their journey today to deliver essential aid to communities devastated by disasters in Chilau, Putlam, Kantale, Badulla and several other affected regions. After collecting donations from the public at the operations centre in Kahaduwatta, Gaul, the contributions were transported last night to the MTV MBC head office premises. Today, relief efforts extended to Putlam, where aid was distributed to residents in Neelabamma with the support of the Asia-Pacific Alliance for Disaster Management or APAD. Army Commander Lieutenant General Lasante Rodrigo also joined the relief convoy in Chilau. Yesterday, the Kantale flood relief team reached communities affected by the Marvil Aru Bund breach, delivering urgently needed supplies. The team covered several villages in the Seruvilla Divisional Secretariat, including Somapura, Lingapuram and Dehiwatta. This afternoon, the Sirasa Sahanayatra flood relief convoy also reached Lanka Patuna village in Itchalampattu, continuing its mission to bring hope to those in need. Another team operated in Gampaha yesterday, distributing essential goods until late evening. Residents of Ihelagama West, Ihelagama East and Pahalagama were among those who received assistance. Today, the Sirasa Sahanayatra flood relief convoy partnered with the Uva Velasa University, strengthening the collective effort to support affected communities. By air, by water and by land, the Sahanayatra flood relief convoys stand with the people.
News First with the people.
The Colombo High Court ordered the conditioned release of former Central Bank Governor Ajit Nivat Cabral and the unconditioned release of 3 other accused in the Greek bond case. Under the condition imposed on Cabral, he must reimburse the loss exceeding 1.84 billion rupees to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka within 3 months.
The case alleged that during Greece's severe economic crisis, the accused knowingly caused a loss of over 1.84 billion rupees to the government by purchasing Greek bonds issued by the Greek government. The indictment was filed by the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption against a former central bank governor Ajit Nivat Cabral, former deputy governor Dharmasena Dheerasinghe and assistant governors Don Vasantha Ananda Silva and M.A. Karunaratne. When the case was called before High Court Judge Mohammed Mihail, the Bribery Commission informed the court that it was withdrawing the indictment against all 4 accused. The Commission stated that Cabral would be released on the condition that he pays 1,843,267,595 rupees and 65 cents to the central bank as compensation as specified in the indictment. The other 3 accused were requested to be discharged under Section 194(3) of the Criminal Procedure Code. After considering submissions, the judge ordered Ajit Nivat Cabral to be conditionally released under Section 67(5) of the Bribery Act, Dharmasena Dheerasinghe, Don Vasantha Ananda Silva and M.A. Karunaratne to be unconditionally released under Section 194(3) of the Criminal Procedure Code. The Bribery Commission later issued a statement confirming that Cabral must settle the amount within 3 months from today, failing which fresh indictments will be filed.
Valuable FD, the symbol of stability.
Today, the 10th of December marks World Human Rights Day. A special event was held at the Stein Studios in Ratmalana this evening, attended by key figures from the state sector, the diplomatic community and civil society in lieu of this occasion.
This year's Human Rights Day carried the theme, Human Rights are Everyday Essentials.
This year, we gather at a time when Sri Lanka is still responding to the immense challenges brought on by Cyclone Ditwa. Even in the midst of hardship, our group has remained fully engaged with our media teams, working tirelessly to support and rescue and relief efforts. Moments like these remind us why human rights are not abstract concepts. They are lived realities that shape people's safety, security, and hope. Whenever human rights are challenged, the answer must be to strengthen them, not to weaken them. They must be encouraged, upheld, and brought into every aspect of human life. In today's world, they're essential to the collective survival. We all know the world remains unsettled. Injustice is never inevitable. It survives only on our indifference. When we insist on human rights every day and in every choice, we close the spaces where injustice seeks to take hold.
The event was brought to life with a series of speeches from key stakeholders highlighting the importance of human rights in everyday life and included a special message from UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, emphasizing global solidarity and the ongoing efforts to protect fundamental freedoms. An inter-university invitational debate was held, bringing together some of Sri Lanka's sharpest young minds on a single stage to engage in a vibrant discussion on pressing human rights issues. A high-level expert panel discussion was held on the future of AI and its role in advancing human rights, featuring local and international experts, including President's Counsel Udita Igalaheva, Dr. Azin Tajini, Human Rights Officer at the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights in Geneva, and Sophia Westerhuber, Senior Legal Counsel at the European Broadcasting Union.
CMA Sri Lanka held a webinar on the 2026 tax budget and its impact on SMEs.
CMA Sri Lanka hosted a Zoom webinar discussing the impact of the 2026 tax budget proposals on the country's SME sector. The program brought together accounting and taxation experts to analyze key reforms and their implications for small and medium enterprises.
Now, relief, it preserves life. If you don't support those affected, very definitely that they can't survive. So it has been very good. I guess I myself have been into many disaster relief centers, so I realized the life that they have been continuing. So that it has been a very good experience to understand how we should look at it. Now, relief, you cannot continue. If you continue to give relief, the people will get used to it and they will never want to recover. So the next stage is recovery. So to recover, it has to restore the basic stability. Now, how are you going to recover these? Now, recovering does not mean that you can only give the material support, right? So disasters does not destroy only the structures or only their assets, but also the confidence. So there, I believe that, the government should bring in all those, the professionals in mental health development. You have to create mentors, you have to give psychological support, because already there are undercurrents that I can understand.
While the discussion focused primarily on tax changes and economic effects, national conversations have also highlighted the need for budget adjustments to address recent natural disasters. Participants engaged in a live Q&A session, gaining insights on how the proposals could affect business sustainability and growth.
The book launch of the Army Commander's Promise to the Nation, authored by former Army Commander Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca, was held in Colombo yesterday.
The launching ceremony of the book, Army Commander's Promise to the Nation, took place yesterday in Colombo, drawing a distinguished gathering from Sri Lanka's defence and diplomatic circles. The ceremony celebrated the release of the new book, authored by Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca, which provides insights into the commitments and vision of Sri Lanka's army leadership and his experiences as an army commander during Sri Lanka's darkest times.
The book launched today is the volume 1 of the Army Commander's Promise to the Nation. I shall not leave this war behind to the next commander. As I went on writing the book, I realized that the book will go up to or even beyond 1,000 pages. Therefore, mainly for the convenience of the readers, I decided to publish the book in 2 volumes. LTT never thought that they will be defeated. All top military and national leaders thought that only a political settlement has to come for the LTT issue. I worked on 3 main principles. Firstly, anti-corruption and anti-abuse of public property was the priority for me. Then meritocracy. Before that, the army, we had a seniority list. Unless you really mess up, you would go up to a general rank without much difficulty. I started a selected list that was applicable to the officers above the rank of major, which is being practiced in all the professional armies in the world. But Sri Lanka did not have that. I started that. Based on that, all command appointments were given in height of operation. But unfortunately, after I left, then Secretary of Defense cancelled the list. Now no more selected list in the army. I changed the strategies, concepts, tactics, and battle drills. Special infantry operation tactics made the difference. We trained all the infantrymen on a special training course of 3 months to make them the fighting machines. Then they were formed into 4-man teams. When you go to battle, we used to put about 500 4-man teams of special infantry trained officers and men into battle in a very wide front. About 250 teams operated in front. The balance 250 teams were standby as the reserve. So they made the difference in the battlefield that helped us to operate in very, very wide fronts and totally send the LTT out of balance. LTT was never used to that type of tactics. We never gave the initiative to the enemy. We held the initiative throughout, never ceded the initiative to the enemy. Unlike in the past, we operated in multiple fronts, and those fronts were very wide. We operated in multiple fronts. Before that, we had 3 divisions at times in certain operations. We were all going in a frontage of about 800 meters to a kilometer maximum. So that made things easy for the LTT at that time. My ethos did not accommodate the failures. I was very harsh on them. They never liked me. Later they came, later they were sent to arrest me. And later those failures sat on the court-martial also to send me to jail. Went against certain principles of war. Did not concentrate the whole force in one front, as I wanted to divide the enemy in the battlefield. Finally, the victory which was thought to be impossible was achieved by us. And motherland was liberated from the clutches of the dastardly terrorists. The military who changed course from apathy to resolute saved the country for the future generation.
The event was graced by Deputy Minister of Defence, the Secretary to the Ministry of Defence, commanders of the Sri Lanka Strike Forces, as well as former army commanders and diplomats.
Yes 101, Sri Lanka's leading hit music station, celebrates 32 years of excellence today.
Axiata PLC says it has successfully restored communication links that were affected by the recent disaster.
Dialog Axiata PLC has taken steps to fully restore communication links affected by the recent disaster. While Dialog's main fibre network and 2,200 out of 6,000 telephone towers were impacted due to the disaster, the company extends its gratitude to the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission of Sri Lanka, the Triforces, the Sri Lanka Police and the government institutions for their support in this urgent operation. The company has also initiated measures to further expand Dialog's network coverage by installing 800 new telephone towers in areas with limited services. In addition, infrastructure will be strengthened to better withstand adverse weather conditions.
About 2,200 sites were impacted, and within 3 days we were able to restore 90% of it, and by now we have restored the network back to prior state, connecting all 6,000 sites to the network. We want to sincerely appreciate the support extended by all other government agencies towards supporting this restoration effort, which was done at a rapid pace, one of the fastest in Sri Lankan history. I must also acknowledge the support extended by our fellow service providers. While we sincerely apologize for the interruptions to our network, we are committed to improving the resilience of our network going forward so that we minimize such disruption.
Dialog Axiata PLC has proposed to invest over $250 million over the next 3 years by adding close to 800 new sites, connecting every Sri Lankan to telecommunication network in the country.
And that's a wrap of your news for tonight.
Thank you for watching. Good night.